I want to talk today about next level leadership. And I didn't really know, I really struggled with this name. I wanted to call it a couple other things, but I said, you know what? I'm just going to call it something sexy like this, something neat, something with a little spice, next level. Anytime you hear next level, you're like, oh yeah, like what, what is it? What would it take to get to the next level? Or how could I be next level? Right? Because when we kind of dissect that term, we all want to be better. I mean, if you are a part of the lounge, you want to be better. You want to grow in your knowledge, your wisdom, right? In all areas of your intellect, you want to grow in your gifting. You want to grow in your leadership. You want to grow in your character. And this is why the lounge exists. But I'm going to talk today about the difference between a maintainer and a mover. I believe every next level organization necessitates a next level leader. But there's a difference between those who maintain and those who move. I understand now sometimes in different seasons of your leadership, I do understand that sometimes you just got to maintain. You're just trying to hold it together. I understand that. I empathize with that. I feel with that. I'm with that. I've been there. But for the most part in our leadership, we are we are built to move. You've heard my personal definition of leadership. It's the ability to move something and or someone forward, depending on what your leadership mandates of you. But there is a difference between those who maintain and those who move. And I believe to be next level, we got to move things. We got to produce. We need results. We need to achieve, to hit our marks, hit our goals, right? All right. So I'm going to start breaking down the difference between a maintainer and a mover. Okay. A maintainer might sharpen one's craft. Now, this is important. When I begin to break down maintainer and mover, please don't disregard, neglect, negate the maintainer bracket of this teaching, because we ought to sharpen our craft. I believe our craft that we have, our gifting, you can call it talent, skills, whatever. I believe that was given from the Lord Himself. And so, as a good steward, I believe we ought to sharpen our craft, to get coaching, to get training, to get critique, right? To study the craft, to work it out. If you're a singer, take voice lessons, get critique. If you are a speaker, do the same. If you are a knitter, do the same. You understand my point, but we ought to sharpen our craft. But all the more, I believe a mover will work on developing one's character. Craft is external, character is internal. And there will come a point to where your craft, your gifting, what is on the outside, your charisma, what is seen, will test what is beneath. And we need to make sure that when that test comes to pass, that what is on the inside is able to sustain what is on the outside. If you think about the concept of a sinkhole, this is how sinkholes happen. We build cities and civilizations on top of a vulnerable, hollow, weak place beneath the surface. Like irrigation, water has come through, maybe washed out, and created some type of cavity beneath the surface. And that's what we don't want to happen, is to build our cities on sinkholes. And I've even been there in my own leadership, to where I focused so much on the outside, the external, that it truly tested what is beneath. It would be like right now, if all I did, were curls, and I never took calcium to build my bones underneath, my structure. There will come a day that my muscles might get so large and so strong and so pressurized that I will snap the bone beneath. Let's be sure that we don't do that in our personal leadership. Build our character. A maintainer, next one, will fulfill their assignment given. They'll do a good job. They'll be diligent. They'll even operate in excellence, right? You'll check off the box. Very good. Well done. Base level type stuff. But a mover will take initiative. In other words, will do what is not even on their task sheet. Will do it without them even being asked. When you take initiative in your organization to do something without even being asked, of course, it has to be aligned to the vision. When you do something, it communicates that you understand that what you are a part of is bigger than the role that you play. It also understands that you're bought into the overall vision and not just your department, if that language translates to your context. So a mover will take initiative and do something without even being asked to do it. A maintainer will see an issue. Will see an issue. I believe leaders have ways of seeing and feeling things that others might not. That's the eye of a leader, right? You ought to be able to walk into a room and see and feel and make sure everything's right, you know. But a mover will not just see an issue, but will bring solutions. Okay. We have a little rule around our context. Hey, don't bring up an issue unless you have a couple solutions attached to it. Matter of fact, if it doesn't even have to get to your oversight and you can just fix it without even communicating that something's broken, then go ahead and just do that. But if you feel like you need to bring up an issue, make sure that you bring up a solution as well. That's what a mover does. That's next level type stuff. Now, that type of stuff right there, however this translates, it'll get you pay raises, right? It'll get you, you'll have just favor over it. You'll be trusted with more. You'll be found dependable, reliable. That stuff right there is next level. Okay, maintainer will receive a teaching, just like this. You're sitting here receiving a teaching. This is good. We ought to, right? It's like you're getting fed. You don't have to do much right now. You don't have to put in too much work, right? I'm kind of dissing out the meal right now. But a mover, and this is what you are, I believe a mover will teach themselves. In other words, you won't just say, it's nice to get fed. You'll say, hey, I know where the forks are, right? I know where the refrigerator is. I'm going to go feed myself. So in the off times to where you're not being instructed like this, you're reading, you're diving into content, you are consuming content to grow you, right? So that's what a mover does, I believe. That's next level type stuff right there. A maintainer, next one, will show on time. Of course, this is good to be on time, right? To even be a little early, because if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you've heard it, you're late. So you'll be on time. But a mover will show up, not just on time, but on time and ready. Ready physically. You're stuffed together. You're not walking in a hot mess, stealing the attention of the agenda of the day. You're showing up ready emotionally. In other words, not saying you can't go to a place when you have friends around you and be real, but there's a time and place. You might need to pull them into a back hallway and share some stuff. So again, it doesn't take away from the overall agenda of the day, but you'll show up ready emotionally. And I'll say this, if you are a spiritual leader watching this, you'll show up ready spiritually. You won't wait until halfway through the day to spend time with the Lord and to stir your faith. You'll walk in ready spiritually. So physically, emotionally, and spiritually, showing up ready. Okay. If you have to wake up earlier to do so, then do that. Oftentimes, that's an easy solution to a lot of our problems. I don't have time to work out, wake up earlier. Unfortunately, that's just what you have to do. I don't have time to eat breakfast and fuel my body right. and to stretch and to hydrate and to spend time with the Lord and etc. Then add on 40 minutes to your morning. It's all good. And set it up right by watching less TV at night, going to bed earlier. If you shifted your day, if your day is what it is now, you can shift it. Just like your body learned the rhythm of your now, you can shift, break that rhythm, and have a new rhythm, right? Okay. A maintainer, next one, will read the temperature of the room like a thermometer. You read the temperature. And this is good. This is good to walk into a room and specifically, like culturally, whatever your values are, you can read it. You can feel it if something's off, right? There's not enough passion in the room, right? There's weird social connections or disconnections happening, stuff like that. You're able to read the temperature. You ought to as a leader, like a thermometer. But a leader is not just a thermometer. A leader is a thermostat. You set the temperature. You know when to inject, deject, reject, right? You know what, to use another metaphor, you know what ingredients to put right into the pie, into the room. You know how to set the temperature of the room. If something's off, right? You can walk in, and you do such a good job, Michael, on this. You can walk in, you can feel, and you can do something or say something to rally the room, to re-engage the room, to recalibrate the room. That's what a mover does. That's next level stuff right there. All right. So that's essentially it for today. You can ask a question if you like. If not, there's no pressure to do so. I know that this was kind of a quick bit of information, but it's not always going to be 30 minutes on a Monday morning. Sometimes it's 15 minutes. And I think that we are okay with that. So, my man, no questions or a question. Just shake your head. No, not yet. We can get to it later. Or if you do, okay, good deal. Well, my man, it's so good to have you today. And for all of you watching this call, thanks so much. I want to remind you about a couple of things. I got some more resources. I'm starting to acquire more clients now with my one-on-one coaching. If you would like a slot in that, slots are limited. And so, and spots are limited. So be sure that if you would like a personal one-on-one, very extremely intensely personalized service, be sure that you go and apply for that on tylerwooten.com. And of course, I have all things coaching and consulting on my Instagram. So just a quick reminder about that. If you are called to vocational ministry, matter of fact, if you are in vocational ministry and you are in your 20s trying to navigate your first decade. I just got out of my first decade of vocational ministry about a couple years back. And so I'm kind of just looking back as a big brother, and I want to resource and to help mentor. I know what it's like to feel lonely as a pastor in your 20s, like nobody sees you or cares. I would love and I would be honored to be a part of that season. And so you can also apply on tylerwooten.com for a program that I have, a mentorship coaching program that I have entitled Corner Crew. And then as well, continue to tell people about the Lounge Weekly. All right, family, have a wonderful week.